what is a disk. Okay, so how many types of disks we'll have, and these all stuff. Okay, so disk management. So secondary storage device management. So hard disk management. Okay, so assume this is my hard disk. Okay, this is one hard disk. I purchased the new brand hard disk. I purchased new brand hard disk. Okay, so clear guys. So assume this it having 1 TB. It's a new hard disk. So here it's a new hard disk, 1 TB hard disk. It's a raw hard disk, RAW. RAW means raw. We doesn't have any file system into this hard disk to store the data. Guys, remember, if you purchase the new brand hard disk, okay, so you doesn't have any file system to store the data into the hard disk. Okay, so now I'll give some information about Windows, and according to Windows, we are going to discuss about Linux also. Okay, so now I purchased one new brand hard disk. It may be Samsung, it may be Seagate. So different brands will have. So I purchased one new brand hard disk. If you purchase it one new brand hard disk, so it doesn't have any file system. It doesn't have any file system here. So it's a raw hard disk. Raw means it doesn't have any file system. So for example, I'm comparing with this hard disk with the help of one plot. Okay, I purchased one plot in Hyderabad. Okay, PLOT plot guys. Okay, I purchased one plot. So if you purchase the plot, can you able to stay there? Can you able to sleep there? Yes, guys. It's a one plot. It doesn't have anything. It's one empty place. Will have dust and some trees and everything. Can we able to stay there? Can you able to sleep there? No. So it's not possible. So like the same way, okay. So like the same way, if I'm purchasing the hard disk, it doesn't have any file system to store the data. So now what I need to do? I need to stay here. So what I need to do? I need to clean the plot first of all. Yes. How we are going to clean the plot, guys? So with the help of some machineries. Example, JCBs, like workers. Okay. So workers, with the help of like machineries, like JCBs and workers. So we need to call them and we need to clean the plot. So we should make one ground. Yes, that's it, guys. So first of all, so we need to clean this plot. So we need to remove the dust and then we need to remove the trees and everything from the plot, and we need to clean this plot. So who's going to clean this plot? So with the help of some machineries, with the help of some manpower, so we are going to clean this plot. So like the same way, I purchased one raw hard disk. We doesn't have any file system into this hard disk. I'm unable to store the data into this hard disk at present. So how I need to store the data? I need to clean this hard disk. Cleaning means formatting. I need to format the hard disk. Formatting means we are assigning the one file system into this hard disk to store the data. Okay, so coming to Windows, will have few file systems related to Windows. There's different operating systems having different file systems. So coming to Windows, we'll have FAT16, then FAT32, and then NTFS file system. Latest file system is NTFS. We are using NTFS file system to store the data into the Windows. So like JCBs and workers. So using this file system, FAT will form file allocation table 16-bit, file allocation table 32-bit, and then NTFS is the latest file system. NTFS will form new technology file system. New technology file system. Now, what is the differences between this FAT and NTFS file system? So FAT, it doesn't have the file and folder security, guys. Okay. So for example, I'm trying to clean the plot with the help of some workers. It will take long time to clean the plot. So instead of calling the workers, if I call some machineries, they are going to clean the plot within a day itself. So clear? I hope you got it. So these are workers, FAT 16 and FAT 32. NTFS is a JCB. I hope you got it, guys. So here in FAT 16 and FAT 32, so what is the difference between FAT 16 and FAT 32 and NTFS in a sense? In FAT partitions, we doesn't have the file and folder security. So coming to NTFS, they introduced to us file and folder security. So compared to FAT, so NTFS having the good security. Clear, guys? So now before XP, we are using FAT partitions, and from XP onwards, we are using NTFS, new technology file system. Clear? So now I'm going to use this NTFS file system to format the hard disk. So in Windows, automatically, if you're connecting any hard disk, if you try to formatting, if you try to install in any Windows operating system, so by default, it is going to assign the C drive letter. So C is a drive letter. I'm installing the Windows 10 with NTFS partition. So Windows 10 with NTFS partition. I have the NTFS file system. Now NTFS is a Windows file system. Okay. So automatically one drive letter is going to assign for this particular hard disk. So Windows having one good feature. So automatically it is going to assign the one drive letter to identify the disk, to identify the particular device. For example, if I'm connecting the drive like hard disk, so automatically one drive letter is going to connect to this particular hard disk on C. So already we discussed why C drive letter, why not A and why not B, guys? Why C, why not A and why not B? We'll have A to Z drive letters. Yes, we'll have A to Z drive letters in Windows. But why? So by default for hard disk in Windows operating system, we are getting the C drive letter. Why not A and why not B? A and B, it is reserved for whom? Floppy. A and B, it is reserved for floppy, and C, it is reserved for hard disk. So because of that reason, so C automatically will get, it's a one mount point to identify the hard disk. Clear? To identify the hard disk. Clear? I hope you got it. So now I clean the plot. Okay. I made this plot as a ground. Can we able to stay there? It is possible, guys. Can we able to stay there? So we can able to stay, but we doesn't have the much protection. That's it, no? For example, I purchased the refrigerator, I purchased the washing machine, I purchased one television. So where I need to keep this all? Okay, can we able to keep this all like the things into our ground? Yes, we can able to keep the refrigerator into the ground. I can able to keep the washing machine into my ground, and then I can able to keep the television into my ground. But do you have the protection, guys? So maybe some people thieves they can able to steal our products, and because of weather, maybe if you're getting the like heat, so you're going to lose this product. If you're getting the like rain, so you're going to lose this product. Yes, like the same way, I have my personal data, I have my official data. So where I need to store my personal data, official data into the C drive itself, because the total 1 TB became C. That means one drive. So where I need to store this data, I need to store the data into the C drive itself. Maybe in future, the C drive, if it is affected by virus, we are going to lose our personal data as well as our official data, whatever it may be. Yes? That's it now, guys. So where I need to store the data, we have the only one partition, the total 1 TB partition, it became as a C drive now, C partition. So where I need to store into the C drive itself only. C is a drive letter to identify the partition, to identify the block. So automatically on drive letter it is going to assign in Windows. Okay. So we are not going to store the data in the C drive letter, guys. We are storing the data into the hard disk. But the C is a drive letter to access the particular device, to access the particular secondary storage device. So I hope you got it, guys. So now I purchased the washing machine, I purchased the refrigerator, I purchased the like television. Where I need to keep this all stuff, I should build a one building, because if you're keeping this all the peripherals into your empty place, so it doesn't have the much production. So because of that reason, what we need to do, guys? So what we need to do? So we need to build a building. So before build a building, we need to create some partitions. Yes. So I need to keep the refrigerator into the kitchen. I need to keep the like washing machine into the bathroom. So I need to keep the bed into the bedroom. Okay. So I need to keep the like television. So it may be into the hall and then maybe into the bedroom. So depends upon our requirement. We are going to make some partitions. We are going to keep all the peripherals. That's it, guys. That means simply we need to build the building. That means we need to build our home. So inside the home itself only we need to keep all the peripherals. Like the same way, coming to hard disk, so if we having the one partition, we doesn't have the much security. If it is affected by virus, what will happen? So again, we need to format. So you're going to lose your data. It may be your personal data, it may be your official data you're going to lose. So because of that reason, what I need to do, guys? I need to create the partitions. I need to create the partition. So C, this is reserved for operating system. Okay. So coming to partitions, so how many partitions we can able to create? So maximum possibilities of the partitions are 4. Okay. So primary partition, and then extended partition. So we'll have 2 types of partition. The possibility of the partitions are 4. As maximum 4 partition we can create. Okay, 4 partition we can create. The possibilities of the partition. So primary and extended. So you can create 3 primary and 1 extended. With the help of this extended, you can create the logical drives. So logical drives. Okay. So logical partitions you can create with the help of extended. Okay. So always remember, so where we need to install the operating system into the primary partition itself. So we are unable to install the operating system into the extended partition. That means secondary partition. So how many types of partitions we'll have? Primary and extended. So how many possibilities of the partitions we'll have? We can able to create 4 partitions. That's it. So in this 4, 3 primary, 1 extended. With the help of 1 extended partition, so we are going to create the multiple logical drives here. Okay. So now let's see here. I'm creating one more partition called T. Okay. So 100 GB are reserved for Windows operating system. Okay. 100 GB. So total 1 TB will have. So this 100 GB reserved for Windows operating system. It's a primary. And I was created one more partition called D. So I was created 200 GB partition. This is also primary. P means primary. Again, I'm creating the one more partition. Okay. Again, I'm creating the one more partition called E. So one more partition called E, 200 GB again. Okay. Again, I'm trying to creating the one more partition called F. So we can create. Okay. So this is also 200 MB. So again, can be able to create the one more partition. So I was created 4 primary partition. So more than 4 primary partitions, we are unable to create the partitions here. Even if we have the space. The total size of the hard disk, how much, guys? 1 TB. So 1 TB hard disk, I utilized 100, 300, 500, 700. So approximately, we are wasting 300 GB more. So we'll have 300 GB partitions. It's not a GP, guys. G means GB, P means primary. Belong. P for primary. I'm not giving GP, okay? So P means primary partition. So primary and extended. I was created 4 primary partitions. More than 4 primary partitions we are unable to create even if we having the space. Even if we have the space, we are unable to create the partition. So maximum possibilities of the partitions are 4. That's it. More than 4 primary partition we are able to create. So unnecessary we are wasting 300 GB. It's a one, we have the empty space, but even if we have in the empty space, we are unable to create the partition. Clear? So what I need to do? So what I'm doing in the sense, I'm trying to deleting this F partition. So we need to create only 3 primary. So how much I utilized? 500 GB I utilized. This is also primary, and this is also primary, and this is also primary. So total 500 GB I utilized, and we'll have 500 more free space. So now what I'm doing is in this total 500 GB remaining would will have like the space 500 GB remaining 500 GB. I'm going to convert this into the extended partition. So this is extended F colon. So it's an extended partition. So total 500 GB is extended now. So with the help of this extended partition, you can create the multiple logical drives. Okay. So create the multiple logical drives. So for example, G. So like from 500 GB, I am utilizing 200 GB. So 200 GB, this is logical drive. Okay. It's a logical drive. I'll keep hyphen. So I think you're going to get confused. Okay. So it's an extended partition. So with the help of this extended partition, you can create the logical drives. So from here to here, it's extended. Using this extended, I'm creating the multiple logical drives. So according to your requirement, you can create the logical drives. In Linux, we can create with the help of fdisk command 15 logical drives you can create. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. So how to create the partition? So this is a old school method. Got it? How to create the partitions into the windows? Yes, no? So I hope you're clear how to create the partitions. Like the same way, what we are using the like principles here in Windows, the same principles we are going to apply into the Linux also. The same with the help of same principles we are going to create the partition in Linux also. So let's see here. Coming to Linux partition table. So coming to Linux partition table. So this is our Linux partition table. Okay. So we have the one partition called MBR. MBR. The first partition is MBR, automatically it will create. Okay. Automatically it will create. So MBR. Clear? So I'm trying to installing the Linux operating system into hard disk. So by default, one partition it will create. The partition name is MBR. Master boot record. Master boot record. Okay. So I'll give the much information about master boot record while we are discussing the boot process at the time. Okay. So don't worry. Automatically the partition will be created while you're installing the operating system at the time. Okay. While you are installing the operating system at the time, automatically the partition will be created. The partition name is MBR, master boot record, you can say. And then, so how many partitions we created, guys, while you are installing the operating system at the time? What are they? How many partitions we created? While you are installing the operating system, how many partitions we need to create, guys? Yes. Root, boot, swap. Very good, Akhil. Okay, 3 partitions. And then home is optional. If you want, you can create, and otherwise you can leave it. There is no issues. Okay. The first partition is root, not ROOT, /. It's a mode point. Okay, no issues. You only can say ROOT also. There is no issues. So /. So it's a primary partition. It's a primary partition. P for primary partition. Okay. And then next partition. Boot. So boot also primary partition. So boot also primary partition. Okay. Another one is swap. Swap. Okay. So one more partition I was created while I'm installing the operating system at the time. That is called swap. Okay. So those 3 are primary partitions, guys. 1, 2, 3. 3 primary partitions we created. And then what will have the space? So it's an empty space. We are converting this empty space into the extended partition. Okay. So this is an extended partition. The total space, it's an extended partition. Okay. So with the help of this extended partition, I'm creating the logical run. So I was created home partition also. Yes. Slash home. Slash home is a partition. It's extended. So what will have the space remaining? That is space. We'll have the 10 GB remaining space. Yes. While I'm installing the virtual machine, at the time I was taking 40 GB. I use 30 GB for operating system, and then we'll have the 10 GB free space now. Yes. Guys, coming to here, Linux, the file system are totally different. Okay. The file systems are different. So in Windows, we'll have FAT16 and FAT32 and then NTFS. But coming to Linux, we'll have some different file systems. We'll see. So Linux file system, it is not going to, we are unable to copy the data from Linux to Windows, Windows to Linux, because the file systems are different. File systems are different. Okay. ext is a file system in Linux. So ext, this is for old machines. This is for old operating system. Okay. ext2, then ext3, then ext4, then XFS nowadays we are using. Okay. So ext, this is for old operating systems, and ext2 also for old operating system, guys. And we doesn't have the journal feature into the ext2. Okay. So journal feature we doesn't have. So what is journal feature? Guys, if you're doing like improper shutdown, sometimes you're going to lose your bootable files. Yes. In Windows, coming to Windows. So if you did like improper shutdown, so maybe the power fluctuation, because of that reason, automatically the system it got down. So without shutdowning, okay. So we are going to lose some bootable files sometimes. If you reboot the machine again, what will happen? We'll get the error. Boot.img is missing, NTLDR is missing, like this errors will get. So can we able to recover this bootable files in Windows? It is possible. Yes, we can able to recover this. We'll have the repair option. So with the help of this repair option, we can able to recover the bootable files. So that is called journal feature. Okay, journal feature. In ext2 partition, in ext2 file system, we doesn't have this journal feature. And then one more thing, the file size is 16 GB, file system size is 64 GB. More than 64 GB data we are unable to store with the help of ext2 file system. Got it, guys? More than the file size is 16 GB, file system size is 64 GB. And coming to here, in ext3, the same file size, same file system size, but we'll have the journal feature. We'll have the journal feature. Okay. I hope you got it, guys. So journal feature means we can able to recover the automatically we can able to recover the bootable files. That is for journal feature. In ext2 it doesn't have the journal feature, and that too, this ext2 it is not going to support more than 64 GB. Like the same way ext3 also, but it having the journal feature, so we are unable to store the data into this ext3 partition. ext3 file system more than 64 GB. So in real-time environment, we are trying to storing the data more data compared to more than, we are storing the data, TBs of the data, and then ZBs, zettabytes of the data we are trying to storing into the real-time environment. If I am using this ext2 and ext3 file system into the real-time environment, it is not suitable for us. This is used for this ext3 and ext2 it is for old operating systems like 5.0 and then 4.0 operating systems we'll have now. So for that we'll have the ext2 and ext3. Okay. So coming to ext4, by default we'll have this ext4 from RHEL 6.0 onwards. From RHEL 6.0 onwards. ext4. So by default, we'll have ext4 file system. By default, we'll have an RHEL 6.0. And then, so it having the journal feature. So while you are trying to changing the file system from ext2 to ext3, we are going to lose our data. But here, if you try to converting the ext3 to ext4, we can able to take a backup. So we can able to take a backup. We are not going to lose the data here. Okay. So ext4 file system by default will have an RHEL 6.0. The file size is 1 TB and file system size is 1 EB. Okay. So 1 EB. I hope you got it, guys. 1 EB means so file system size is 1 EB. I hope you got it, guys. So file size is 1 TB and then file system size is 1 EB. 1024 MB is equal to how much? So let's see here. 1024 MB is equal to 1 GB. Yes. 1024 GB is equal to 1 TB. That's it, guys. 1024 GB is equal to 1 TB. 1024 TB is equal to 1024 TB is equal to how much? 1 TB. That's it, no? TB is equal to 1 petabyte. Yes. 1024 TB is equal to 1 EB. Okay. I hope you got it, guys. 1024 TB is equal to 1 EB. So till 1 EB it will support. Till 1 EB it will support. So ext4 file system it will support till 1 EB. The file size is 1 TB and the file system size is 1 EB. So I hope you got it, guys. 1024 EB is equal to 1024 EB is equal to 1 ZB. Okay. So 1024 ZB is equal to 1 YB. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. So now here, coming to XFS, by default we'll have XFS file system in 6.0 as well as in 8.0, both the versions. So both the versions having XFS. EXT full form extended, XFS full form also extended only. Okay. So XFS file system will have an RHEL 7.0 as well as an 8.0 by default. Okay. So this XFS also will support till 1 ZB. I think support 1 ZB or 1 YB. Okay. And then file size is 2 TB. In XFS, file size is 2 TB. So we are going to use this XFS file system for cloud environment, and maximum will support like the Unix like operating system it having the XFS file system. Clear? It's the latest, and then we are using in RHEL 7.0 as well as in 8.0. Both the version having XFS file system by default. So I hope you got it, guys. So here we doesn't have the FAT16 and FAT32 and NDFS. We'll have EXT and then XFS file system. So EXT, this is for older version, and then this is for older version, and then EXT2, EXT3 also we are going to use for older versions only. So EXT4 by default will have an RHEL 6.0. XFS will have by default in RHEL 7.0 as well as in 8.0. Okay. So now we are using RHEL 7.0. By default we'll have XFS file system. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. So I hope you're clear. So how to about partitions. Extended file system only, XFS also. Milan. XFS also extended only. Okay. Okay. Now how to list the partitions we'll see now. Okay. So we'll have few commands to list out the partitions. So one is ftest and then parted. So using ftest, you can able to find out the partitions. Okay. Test -l, then parted -l. Can use this both the command to list out the partitions. Okay. List out the partitions, and then we can able to find out the hard disk type also. So I'll show you. Let's see here. So let's see guys here. I'm trying to execute in the command called ftest-l. So ftest-l. Okay. See here. There's a disk type. So DVSDA, and then two partitions will have. The total size of the disk is 42.9 GB, and we'll have the two partition SDA1 and SDA2. DVSDA1 and DVSDA2. DVSDA1 it belongs to boot, and then so start and end sectors. Okay, and total 400 MB will have, and Linux partition. So SDA2 total 30 GB will have, and its LVM partition. We'll see tomorrow LVM. Okay. So now let's see here. If you want to execute parted command also, parted -l, both it will show the same thing. Okay. So how many types of hard disk will have guys in legacy environment? Do you have any idea? DVSDA 42 GB, two partitions will have, 1 and 2. DVSDA1 and SDA2. So the file system, by default file system is XFS. It's a primary partitions. Both are primary partitions. Clear? So I hope you got it, guys. So now how many types of partitions will have? Sorry, how many types of hard disk will have, not partitions, sorry. So how many types of hard disk will have, guys, in legacy environment? For example, you purchase new brand laptop. Okay. So what type of hard disk you will have into your laptop? HDD types. SSD or HDD? Very good. Okay. Ajay. So SSD nowadays they introduced to us, and in old days we'll have HDD only. Okay. HDD, hard disk drive. HDD, hard disk drive. Okay. Coming to HDD, we'll have two types of HDDs. Okay. One is ATA technology. ATA, Advanced Technology Attachment Form. Okay. ATA, ATA. So another one is SCSI. So in older days, we'll have ATA and SCSI. So nowadays they introduced to us SSD also. Okay. SCSI. So SCSI full form, Small Computer System Interface. Okay. So small computer system interface. And nowadays they introduced to us SSD also. It's a bit expensive. Okay. SSD also will have. SSD. Okay. So now hard disk, generally in olden days in legacy environment we'll have two types of hard disk. One is ATA technology, another one is SCSI technology. So recently they introduced to us SSD also. Okay. So coming to ATA, two more types will have. Coming to ATA, two more types will have. One is IDE. IDE, Integrated Device Electronic, or you can say PATA. IDE or PATA. 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 And then we'll have one more type in ATA that is called SATA. Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. Okay, so SATA full form Serial Advanced Technology SATA SATA. Okay, ATA technology having two more types here. So coming to HDD, we'll have two types. So nowadays we'll have three types. SSD also will have. Okay. So now ATA, then SCSI. SCSI is a bit expensive hard disk. We're going to use SCSI technology into servers, not into our personal machines. It's a bit expensive. Okay. So coming to ATA, we'll have two more types. One is IDE. IDE will form Integrated Device Electronics. You can say PATA also, there is no issues. PATA or IDE. So PATA or IDE you can say. So IDE will form Integrated Device Electronic and PATA will form so Parallel Advanced Technology Attachment. And then so maximum 90% machines in our laptop will have SATA. Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. Serial Advanced Technology Attachment. Compared to ATA technology, SCSI is a bit expensive because it's faster than ATA. So you can able to store the data, you can able to retrieve the data compared to ATA little bit quickly. And SCSI also, it's very good technology. Sorry, SSD also it's a very good technology. So you're going to store the it doesn't have any spindle motor into the SSD. It's one chip, like as a pen drive. Okay, it doesn't have the spindle motor. There's both the technologies, ATA and SCSI technology. It will work on spindle motor. We'll have inside the one motor. With the help of this motor, we are going to rotate the platters. I will show you. Don't worry, some images from internet. Okay, so we'll have the spindle motor. So we'll have the platters. We are going to store the data into the platters. But the SSD, we doesn't have the any platters and we doesn't have the any what we say. So spindle motor here. So we are going to store the data into the one chip, one integrated chip IC. Okay, integrated chip. Clear? We are going to store the data into the one chip. So using SSD. Okay, this is also very faster compared to ATA. Okay. SSD like pen drive only such. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. So now how we need to identify this hard disk type in Linux? So it's very simple. See here. We have the different types of hard disk now. So how we need to identify it? So DEV, SDA or HDA. 1 minute. / DEV HDA. HDA. So if you get like if you execute the fdisk IPL command, if you're getting DEV HDA, that is IDE or SATA. IDE or PATA. Parallel Advanced Technology Attachment. Okay. External hard disk drive also HDD. Okay, not SSD. So external hard disk drive, if you need to purchase SSD external hard disk drive, it's expensive. Okay. So external hard disk drive also it will work with the spindle motor itself. Okay. So DEV, SDA, SATA or SCSI. So anyway, we are not going to use the SCSI hard disk into our laptop. So it's a bit expensive. Maximum we'll have the SATA hard disks only. Okay. We'll have SATA hard disks only. Then, if you're getting like this DEV VDA, that's virtual hard disk. VDA, it's a virtual hard disk. So clear? So virtual hard disk, we are going to take the like hard disk through network. We are going to take the storage through network block storage using SAN protocol. So we'll have the iSCSI and then FC. Using these protocols, we can able to take the like blocks through network. That is called virtual hard disk. Clear? So DEV VDA is a virtual hard disk. Clear? So if I'm executing fdisk-l command, if I'm executing fdisk-l command, okay, then what type of hard disk we'll have in our operating system, in our virtual machine? So let's see here. fdisk-l. See, SDA will have. SDA means it's a SATA hard disk. DEV SDA, it's a SATA hard disk. So 40 GB. Okay, and then two partitions will have. So I hope you're clear, guys. Yes, no. So now, how to create the partitions we'll see now. Okay. So guys, we'll have MBR partition and GPT partition. We're going to discuss now MBR partition. Okay. So we'll have the two different commands to create the partition. One is fdisk, another one is gdisk. So don't use gdisk in exam also, but in real-time environment, people are using gdisk only. So you can create 128 partitions with the help of gdisk. But with the help of fdisk, we can able to create 15 partitions. That's it. Okay. So anyway, we are using MBR partition here. Because of that is I'm using fdisk command. Okay. Fdisk, then we need to provide the device name to whom we need to manage which hard disk I need to manage the partition. We should provide the hard disk name. So I'm using DEV SDA hard disk. It's a SATA hard disk. Okay. So fdisk is a command. So fix disk. I'm trying to fixing this DEV SDA disk. Okay. Then hit enter. You will get like the screen, guys. Welcome to fdisk. So util hyphen Linux. So 2.23.2. So okay. So now command M for help. Command M for help. So we'll get few options how to create the partitions, how to delete the partitions, everything we'll get from the operating system itself. Okay. Then press M, then hit enter. You'll get all the options. So according to your requirement, you can use this option. You can create the partition, you can delete the partition, you can change the type of the partition. Now my target is I need to create the new partition. That's it now. I need to create the new partition and to create a new partition. So to list out the partition table, that means to print the partition table. P to print the partition table. Okay. Use P, then hit enter. How many partitions will have? Two partitions will have SDA1 and SDA2. SDA1 and SDA2, two partitions will have. I'm trying to creating the new partition. Okay. So N to create the new partition and hit enter. See here, partition type it is asking now. So partition type it asking now. Okay. So what type of partition I need to create? Already we'll have two primaries, guys. SDA1 and SDA2 both are primaries. Okay. So clearly it is saying two primary partitions, 0 extended, 2 free partitions will have. Okay. So clearly it's saying two primary partitions already will have. SDA1, SDA2 both are two primary partition. So it doesn't have any extended partition, 0. And the possibilities of the partitions, you can create two more partitions now. And P for primary, E for extended. P for primary, 2 free means you can create. So I said 4 partitions, yes. So maximum the possibilities of the partitions are 4. Already we created 2, and then we'll have the 2 free. So you can create one primary, one extended. With the help of extended partition, you can create the logical runs. Okay. So let's see here. I'm trying to creating the primary partition. By default, it's taking P. By default, it's taking P. If you want, you can give P also. There is no choice. Okay. Then partition number 3 and 4. So by default 3. After 1, 2, we'll get the 3 only. No? So you can give 3, then hit enter. First sector. So what is this first sector? We'll have some numbers here. First sector. So first sector will have two numbers here. 6277, 632. This is a default sector number. What is sector? Guys, do you know sectors, cylinders, and these all? Will have sectors, cylinders, tracks. How you're going to store the data into the hard disk, do you know? So first of all, so we need to know internal parts of hard disk. If you open the hard disk, what type of parts will have inside the hard disk? Okay. Okay. So we'll see now. Okay. H. DD internal parts images. See here. Yes, these are internal parts. Inside the hard disk, if you open the hard, don't open the hard disk, guys, okay? You will get the like bad sectors and then the hard disk is not going to work if you open the hard disk. If you are having any old hard disk, then you can, okay? If you open the hard disk, okay? Give me 1 minute, guys. This is the internal parts, guys. This is aluminum oxide coated platter. So it is looking like CD now. So this is aluminum oxide coated plotter. This is a spindle motor. It's a spindle motor. The motor, it is going to rotate this plotter. You're going to store the data into the plotter. How you're going to store the data in the sense? With the help of this header. This tip will have, see here. This tip, this is header. It's going to read and it's going to write the data from the plotter. This header, it is going to read and it's going to write the data into the plotter. Okay? And this accelerometer arm. So header arm, you can say, accelerometer arm, you can say, it's a header motor, like accelerometer motor. So this motor, it is going to rotate the header. The header, it is going to rotate and then it's going to read the data. It is going to write the data into the plotter. So I hope you got it, guys. Okay? How it is going to read the data, how it is going to store the data into the plotter. So inside the plotter, we'll have few parts. Okay? So let's see now. Guys, I hope you got it. So do you have any doubts, any questions here? So HDD sector images. The plotter, it got divided into different parts here. See here. This is a plotter. Inside this plotter, we'll have sectors, cylinders, tracks, these all stuff. So this is aluminum oxide coated plotter. I'm going to store the data into this plotter. But how we are going to store the data into the plotter in the sense? So with the help of sectors. So what is sector here? So which one is a sector? This triangle part is a sector, guys. This plotter, it got divided into multiple tracks. The circles will have now round circles. These are all tracks. See here. This is one track, another track. So these are all tracks, okay? So this tracks, it got divided into the multiple sectors. This triangle part is sector. This triangle part, it's a one sector. See here. This is one sector, this is one sector, this is one sector, this is one sector, this is one sector. Like this, we'll have the number of the sectors. So this is a first sector number. Each and every sector having some numbers, and by default this is a first sector number. Okay, so now I need to make the like partition. I need to create the partition. So how we are going to create the partitions in the sense? With the help of the sectors only. So assume this is first sector. So from here to here I'm trying to creating one partition. From here to here. Okay, so as a human we are unable to remember this many of lengthy numbers. Because of that reason we are going to use GBs and TBs. Okay, 1 GB, 1 MB, 1 GB, 1 TB, like this we are going to use. Okay, so instead of sector numbers. So total how many sectors? We'll have a number of the sectors here. How you are going to store the data in the sense? Sector wise, cluster wise. So we'll have this tracks now. In between one space we'll have in between the tracks. That is called cluster. We are going to store the data cluster wise, sector wise. So for example, this is one sector. I need to store the, I'm trying to storing the data. How it is going to store the data in the sense? It is going to store the data into the sector wise. So we'll have clusters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like this, we'll have the number of the clusters here. So first of all, we need to fill this clusters into the sector, and then next it is going to take different sector. It is going to store the data. We are going to store the data cluster wise and sector wise, guys. So I hope you got it. This header, it is going to read the data for the sector wise and cluster wise. We can able to read and we can able to write the data like this. So I hope you got it. Yes, no? Okay, so now we'll have few sector numbers. So don't bother about the sector numbers. So we should not provide any sector. By default, we need to take first sector. Just hit enter. That's it. You should not give anything here. Okay. Want to maximize this. Just hit enter. First sector need not to provide anything. So by default number it will take. Just hit enter. And then last sector we need to define how much size of the partition we need to create. So as a human, so we are unable to remember this all the numbers because of that reason. We are defining the size with the help of size option. Okay, plus 2G, 2K, 2M. So like this you can do. So K means KBs, M means MBs, G means GBs. Then hit enter. 2GB partition it got set. So third partition. So partition 3 of the type Linux and of size 2GB is set. So we need to verify. So P to print the partition table. Guys, if you want, you can make a note. In history, we won't get this all. In history, we won't get this all. So if you want, you can make a note. So first of all, what we need to do? We need to execute the fdisk space devsda and hit enter. Then P to print the partition table. And then I'm trying to creating the new partition. Already we'll have the two partitions here. I'm creating the new partition N. So the two primary partition I'm creating, I'm using P to create the primary partition. And then, so default 3 numbers. So for 1, 2, we need to provide the 3 number. And then first sector, we should not give anything. Just you need to hit enter. And then, but last sector, we need to define the size of the partition. I'm creating 2GB partition. Okay, plus 2G we need to provide. So the 2GB partition it got set. Now I'm trying to verify using the P option. Okay, P to print the partition. You see here, devsda3 partition it got created successfully, and then the size of the partition is 2GB. So this is starting sector. This is ending sector. It's a starting sector and it's ending sector for this partition. Okay, so 83 is a partition ID. We'll see later. Okay, so what is partition ID? These all. The type of the partition is Linux. Again, I'm trying to creating the one more partition. We need to use N. See here, again, it is asking primary and extended. So by default, we'll have extended. Already, we'll have 3 primary partition, guys. Only 1 free space we'll have. So forcefully, I'm trying to creating the primary partition instead of extended. Okay. So forcefully, I'm trying to creating the primary partition instead of extended. What will happen? Let's see here. So first sector, we should not provide anything. Then second sector, I'm defining again 2GB. Guys, total 40GB size will have. In that, I utilize 30GB and remaining 10GB space will have. With the help of this 10GB, I'm creating this partition. How many partitions I was created, guys? 2 more partitions. 2GB and 2GB. devsda3 and devsda4. So both are 2GB partition. From 10GB, I utilize 4GB now. How much will have remaining space? How much will have, guys? 6GB space will have. So still we'll have the 6GB space. Now again I'm trying to creating the new partition. Let's see here. I'm unable to create because we created 4 primary partitions. We are unable to create the more than 4 primary partition even if we having the space. I hope you got it, guys. So I hope you got it. Yes, no. So we need to create only 3 primary partition. What will have the remaining space we need to convert into the extended. With the help of extended, we need to create the logical partition. Okay. So if you're creating the 4 primary partition, you are unable to create the extended partition because even if you're having the space, you are unable to create. Okay. So now what I need to do now? I need to delete the partition. That's it now. I need to delete the 4th partition. So D to delete the partition. So SDA4 I need to delete. Okay. So default 4 will have. So you can keep the 4 and then enter. The partition 4 it got deleted. So P to print the partition. See here will have the 3 primary partitions now. So now I'm trying to creating the extended partition now. So we need to use N option to create the partition. So P to primary, E to extended. I'm going to use E. Then first sector we should not provide anything. And last sector also don't give anything here. I'm trying to converting entire space into the extended because of that reason. Just hit enter. That's it. Total 8GB space we are converting into the extended partition. So total 10GB free space will have. So 42GB, 40GB will have. In 40GB we utilize 30 GB remaining 10 GB space will have. From 10 GB, again I was created one more primary partition as a 2 GB here. So 2 GB SDA3, or remaining space 8 GB will have. So remaining space I am converting into the extended partition. So 8 GB will convert into the extended P to print the partition table. See here, PV SDA4, it's the total size of the SDA4 is 8 GB and it's an extended partition. Guys, remember one thing, you are unable to store the data into the extended partition. You are unable to store the data, you are unable to store your objects into the extended partition. So we are going to store the objects into the primary as well in logical drives, not into the extended. Using this extended partition, I'm trying to create in the logical drives. M. So it won't ask now primary and extended because the total space we are converting to the extended. And first sector we should not provide anything. Again, I'm trying to create the one more partition. So first sector we should not do again. So let's see here, we to print the partition. 6 partitions I was creating. SDA1, SDA2, this both are operating system. It both belongs to operating system. Just now I was created SDA3, SDA4, it's extended. Using this extended partition, I was created SDA5 and SDA6 logical drives. So I hope you got it, guys. You need to give only G, don't give GB, okay? You should use only G, don't give GB. If you are providing GB, it will provide the error while you are trying to creating the partition, okay? So I hope you got it, guys. I need to save this partition table. So how to save the partition? I was created to partition, I need to save this partition table. So W to save the partition. It's very simple, guys. Fdisk space, we need to provide the disk name, okay, and then hit enter to create the partition N, okay. So to create the partition N option we need to use, okay, to delete the partition D. So to save the partition table W, okay. So W, save and exit. I'm back to terminal. Guys, we need to update the partition table. We saved the partition table, we didn't update the partition table. So how to update the partition table? So we should reboot the operating system. But don't reboot the operating system into the real-time environment. So instead of reboot, we'll have few commands here. So you can use pathprobe or kpartx. Okay. So pathprobe or kpartx. Pathprobe command we need to use to update the partition table. Okay. Pathprobe. So dvsda, then hit enter. Mandatory. So it's a old school method, Milan. So extended means secondary. Using this extended, I'm trying to create the multiple logical drives. Got it? So primary and secondary. So secondary partition, I'm creating with the help of secondary partition, I'm creating the multiple logical drives to store the data. You are unable to store the data into the external partition directly. Okay. So let's see here. kpartx also you can use. What is the difference between pathprobe and kpartx? Both are same, guys. It's better to use pathprobe. So pathprobe is a command. It will request the kernel to update the partition table. kpartx is a command. It will inject the kernel to update the partition table. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. So now execute fdisk-l. So let's see here. We'll have 6 partitions now. Now 6 partitions. So how to store the data into this partition? Yes. How to store the data into this partition? So we'll have SDA3, SDA4. We are unable to store the data into the SDA4 because it's extended. SDA5 also will have, SDA6 also will have. It's a logical function. I can able to store the data into the SDA3. I can able to store the data into the SDA5. I can able to store the data into the SDA6. How we need to store the data? How we need to store the data? So I need to assign the file system. That means I need to format the partition first of all. Okay. So how to format? MKFS hyphen T is an option, and then DEV. So I need to provide the partition type. You can use any partition type, guys. Okay, maybe XFS or EXT. So by default in RHEL 7.0 we'll have the XFS. So I'll try to create the XFS partition. Okay, XFS DEV SDA 3. See. I hope you got it, guys. MKFS is a command. Make file system hyphen T is an option type. I was given XFS. If you want to give any type of the partition, guys, any type of the file system, depends upon your requirement. Okay. So I use like XFS, the XFS partition. So I assign. I need to verify. So DV SDA3 whether it is having the like file system or not. Oh, BLKID is a command. Okay. So DEV SDA3 then I enter. So there's a partition name SDA3 and it's a UUID, Universal Unique ID. Each and every device having one Universal Unique ID to identify the device. And the type of the partition is XFS. Got it, guys? So which command I need to use? BLKID. Otherwise, parted also you can use. Parted hyphen. Go a little bit up. See. DEV SDA3 XFS partition. So it's extended and it's a logical drive. See here, logical drives. So but the logical drives doesn't have any file system. You are unable to store the data into this logical drive. So first of all, we need to assign the file system. Then only we can able to store the data. So DEV SDA3 having XFS file system. How we need to store the data? Yes, guys. How to create a mode point? In Linux, we doesn't have any drive letters. Yes. DEV SDA3 is a one block file. So directly you are unable to store the data into the block file. Yes. So we need to store the data into the hard disk block. So how to store the data? So which command I need to use to store the data? And one more thing, coming to Linux, we doesn't have any drive letter concept. I need to create the mode point. How to create the mode point, guys? How to create the mode point? Yes, guys. So with the help of which directory we need to create a mode point? While we are discussing about file system hierarchy at the time, I was given the information. /mnt is an empty directory to create a mode point for any partition. Yes? /mnt is a empty directory to create a mode point for any partition by default. Okay. So let's see here. You are unable to store the data directly into the SDA3 partition. We need to create the mount point. So how to create the mount point? Mount is a command. Okay. So mount is a command. Then we need to provide the partition name DEV SDA3. Then we need to provide the directory name with whom we need to create a mount point. The mount point it got created successfully now. So let's verify the mount point. So mount, then it enter. See here, DEV SDA3 on MNT. I'm going to store the data into the MNT, but actually the data it will store into the DEV SDA3. The type of the partition is XFS. Will have read and write permission, real-time scalable permission, everything will have. Okay. So now, how to store the data? Go to CD. Guys, apart from mount, we'll have the one more command also, df-th. So df-th. So df-th. Then see here, DEV SDA3. So the partition type is XFS. Then 2 GB size. And then we used only 2%. So 2 GB, almost 2 GB is available. So it got mounted on MNT. So CD MNT, then hit enter. I'm creating few files and directories. Okay. See here. I was created few files and directories here. Okay. So where I was created these files and directories, guys, I was created the files and directories into the MNT, but the MNT is on one point, that's it. So actually we are storing the data into the DBSDA3 partition. Okay? I hope you got it, guys. So if I reboot this, what will happen? If I'm rebooting this, what will happen? So we are going to lose the mount point, not data. We'll have the data into the DBSDA3, but we are going to lose the mount point. This MNT is going to remove from the DBSDA3 if you reboot it. So let's see here. Guys, if you want, you can make a note, take a snap. Okay, so you can take a snapshot. If you require, you can take a snapshot. So I hope you're clear, guys. How to create the partition, how to format the partition, how to create the mount point. So without creating the mount point, you are unable to store the data into the particular partition. So mount point means drive letter, that's it. So mount point means drive letter. Windows will have the drive letter to store the data into the particular partition. If you're creating the partition, Windows automatically will assign one drive letter. But in Linux, it's not like this. So by default, we'll have the /mnt, it's an empty directory. You can use the /mnt to create a mount point. Otherwise, you can create your own directory also. You can create your own empty directory. You can use this empty directory to create a mount point for partition. Okay? I hope you got it, guys. So yes, no. Then let's see here. I'm trying to log in to this operating system. Let's verify the mount point. See here, it doesn't have any mount point here. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll create one directory on top of the desktop. mkdir home student desktop dir1. Okay. So one directory I was created on top of the desktop. I'm going to use this directory to create a mount point. Okay, instead of mnt. So dev sda3 mount C. 2 GB volume it got created on top of the desktop. This is called mount point. If you open this, you'll have this. We lose the only mount point, not data. We'll have the data into our partition. Okay. Got it? If I'm rebooting this, we are going to lose the mount point. That's it. We are not going to lose the data. So how to create the permanent mount point? So can we do now? Otherwise, can we do tomorrow? How to create the permanent mount point? Tomorrow. Okay. So I hope you're clear how to create the temporary mount point. Okay. I hope you're clear, guys, how to create the temporary mount point. So if you're rebooting the machine automatically, you're going to lose the mount point, guys, if you're creating the temporary mount point. Okay. So now we'll see how to create. Now tomorrow we'll see how to create the permanent mount point. We need to edit one configuration file. I'll show you tomorrow. Okay. So now let's see here the file, the operating system I got rebooted and try to log into this operating system. Okay. We are going to lose the mount point. So I was created mount point on top of the desktop. So we observe. So it doesn't have any mount point on top of the desktop. See. Got it? You're not going to store the data into the dir1, guys. If you open the dir1, it doesn't have anything. The data will store into the where? Into the DVSDA3. Okay. So I hope you're clear. So please make a note. I'll keep history. So what we did inside the F test, we are unable to get into the history. What I was executed commands and these all we can able to get from the history. Okay. So I hope you got it, guys. Do you have any doubts, any questions here? We are unable to open the DVSDA3 directly. We need to create a mount point. Then only we can able to. Because of that reason, I'm creating a mount point. Okay. So directly we are unable to open the DVSDA3. It's a block device. Guys, without drive letter, can you able to open the partition? It is possible. So without drive letter, can you able to open the partition? Can you able to store the data? So without your name, how I can able to communicate with you? I need to know your name, then only I can able to call you, then only I can able to communicate with you. Like the same way here. So in our mission, without drive letter, so you are unable to find out the hard disk. Not only hard disk, any device you are unable to find out secondary storage device. You are unable to store, you are unable to retrieve the data without drive. Here the mount point is drive letter. Okay? MNT can use any directory according to your requirement, you can create a directory, you can create a mount point. So without mount point, you are unable to access the partitions as well as devices. Okay? So I hope you got it, guys. So clear? Yes, no? Pen drive, you will get SDB. If you connect the pen drive, you will get SDB. SDB, SDC, like this will work. Okay, so for pen drive, no need to create the mount point. By default, it will create the mount point inside the run because it's a removable media. Na? It's a removable media. So from where we need to get the pen drive? From which location? Run media, run username. So inside the user will have the pen drive. Okay. If you want, you can create your own mount point also, there is no issues. But doesn't require for pen drives and DVDs automatically will have the mount point. So okay guys, see you tomorrow. Bye, take care.